We're on a pretty normal looking street here in Brooklyn, and while this building may not look like much, inside some of the best sounding headphones in the world are being put together.
We're Grado Labs, and we hand build headphones and cartridges in Brooklyn, New York. We started in 1953.
I'm the second generation. Jonathan is the third generation. My uncle started it. He was an audio hobbyist. He kind of came up with an idea for a phono cartridge. He started building them on his kitchen table. He'd build 5 or 10 of them, go out and sell them to the local shops. And he kind of built a reputation. As the business grew, he moved into the building we're in now. Started first with phono cartridges, then we made some turntables, some speakers. In 1964, we ceased production of everything but the phono cartridge until the late 1980s. About that time was the introduction of the compact disc, the CD. Sales for phono cartridges kind of diminished. And we knew if we wanted to continue to exist, we had to get into something else, and we decided on headphones. In the beginning of the 90s, it was kind of slow going. If we had gotten an order for 6 headphones, we were rubbing our hands together. We were, hey, we're in business. And really those first 3 or 4 years, we were just barely getting by. I mean, no money was being made. In 1994, we introduced our SR60 headphone, which retailed for $69. It got rave reviews in the magazines. In January '95, we went back for the first time in maybe 30 years to the Consumer Electronics Show. At that time, we had 5 different models of headphones, from $69 to $595. So at the show, everybody comes in, they want to listen to the best. And I told them, I said, you can listen to the best, but you got to listen to these first. And I put them on their head, and they listened, and they said, oh, yeah, okay, it's a nice $200 headphone. And then I told them it was $69. Their jaws dropped to the floor. We came back from the show, and that headphone kind of really put us on the map, and it took off like a rocket.
These are the...
$79.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I grew up in this room. It was fun to see everyone downstairs still building. And then as I got older, I actually got more embarrassed about what my family was doing because no other family was doing it. So I just kind of lost interest in what my family was doing. That interest really didn't come back until college. I went to a mandatory resume and portfolio seminar at my school. They just told you to fill up your resume with everything you've done. So I wanted to put social media director for Grado on there. So I went to my dad that night and I asked him, and I hadn't done that, and I wanted to put it on there. And he said, well, if you actually do it, you can put it on there. So I was like, fine, I'll go make our Twitter and our Facebook page. And I think from there it just snowballed. I just immediately fell in love with it.
We do most of the work here. In the beginning, the first wooden headphone we had was an RS1, and we would make housings so we could produce 25 headphones.
The headphones are assembled here in Brooklyn, and we are about to put together a pair of SR60 from the Prestige series. I know. This is... Okay.
Don't worry, nobody will see it. No, that's good.
Okay.
Now we're gonna test.
I had a good friend of mine whose father used to make wooden pens. He lives up in the country, upstate New York. His father's shop was like out in the backyard. So he started doing all our woodworking for us.
Okay. I feel like we're increasing difficulty.
Also with the speakers, we probably go through 500,000 speakers a year. So I had another acquaintance friend who's out on Long Island. So we kind of put that off on him.
You've done this a few times, haven't you?
I've been here since '94. And you're all done.
That's pretty easy. I could use some practice on the soldering iron and the hot glue gun, but pretty straightforward.
We do all the plastic injection molding. We have a newer machine that does all the plastic for the headphones. We also have different machines that punch different parts for the metal covers, for the cartridges, and sub-assemblies for the headphones. The piece goes in there. This is a safety, so you can't have your finger in there. and it folds it. Again, when we were turning out 10,000 a week, you know, we had to punch 10,000 of those a week. We had to fold 10. We had this down because every time you flew it, cut. And we had boom, 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 boom. In here we do the final assembly of our wooden phono cartridges. These are the outer shells. This particular model, we use a wood called Jarrah. Jarrah comes from Australia. We can't break in all the cartridges. The current top of the line, our statement model, those we break in. We're playing for 72 hours. The next floor we have all the headphone production. They get all the parts and they do all the assembly work. Then up here we have some storage. We have our listening room. This is where we'll do the listening for the products we're designing. My father would tell us about paintings, and he would say go in and look at the brush strokes and see how it's all put together, then pull back and you look at the picture. So when I listen to the music, I pull it apart. There just might be a little try, ding, 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 and I pull it all apart and listen. Then I come back and I listen to the song. You know, I've had people come and say, you know what, I love them. I'd like a little more bass. We go downstairs, boop, 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 boop. And I come up and I have a little more bass. You know, I kind of feel like a chef. You know, a little more pepper, a little more whatever.
Right.
And you change the recipe a little. I have 3 reference points, 3 vinyl albums I use. One is Eric Clapton's Unplugged. One is Duke Ellington's Jazz Party. One is Ella Fitzgerald's Clap Hands. And these are just my reference points. I guess it could have been anything, but these are what I've used over the last 27 years. Because we've been around so long, we built what I would like to think is a nice reputation. People trust us. People have commented, everything you come out with is a winner. And I tell them, everything we release is a winner. They don't see the pile of losers by the side of the chair that we decided, well, doesn't meet our criteria, we're not going to do it.
Not only did I get to put together a solid set of headphones today, but I got a history lesson on how a family in Brooklyn has been able to keep its workshop-like mentality through decades and is still creating some of the best audio gear you can buy.